At the beginning of this story, a girl was running deep into the dense forest. The girl had several scars on her back, indicating that someone was definitely chasing her and trying to kill her. She kept looking back repeatedly to see if those people were coming. To find out how the girl ended up in such a bad condition, we need to go back 2 days. Now, we are shown two friends inside a university, one named Lauren and the other Emily. They were raising the name of their university very high in the university sector, making all the teachers proud of these two students. Emily and Lauren were on the same team and were unbeatable together. They went on to win a very important tournament, and to celebrate, they went to Lauren's room to party. Their joy knew no bounds. But shortly after, a boy named Sam arrived in front of the house. This boy was actually Emily's boyfriend, who had come to take her with him because their relationship was not going well. However, Emily refused to go with him, saying she wanted to spend time with her friend Lauren, which was more important to her. But Sam began to force her, causing Emily a lot of pain. This made Emily extremely angry, and she started hitting Sam. She showed no mercy, knowing that he would be severely injured, and indeed, he was hurt so badly that he had to be admitted to the hospital the next day. When Sam's parents found out about this, instead of suing Emily's parents, they filed a case against Lauren because Sam had gone to Lauren's house the night before, not Emily's. They now believed that Lauren was responsible for Sam's condition. Lauren's family was summoned to court for the hearing. Amid all this, Lauren was made to sign a paper without reading it, which was her biggest mistake. When all these things went to the judge, she clearly stated that Lauren had admitted she was trying to kill Sam, as those details were written on the paper, and Lauren had signed it herself. This meant that she accepted it. Although Lauren and her family arrived to explain their side to the judge would not listen to anyone because he had already found evidence. As a result, all responsibility was placed on Lauren, and she was sent to prison to serve her sentence. Lauren was not particularly affected by all of this, but she was very saddened that Emily had not come to testify even once, as both Emily and her family were terrified of the situation. The next day, Lauren was taken to a very isolated part of the prison, a place that housed only those who had committed crimes. When the jailer learned that Lauren was a very good archer, he called her to his office and asked her many questions. Eventually, the jailer said, "You will do archery for us. You can practice your aim here, but I want gold from you so that our prison can be at the top." Lauren did not understand why the jailer was behaving so nicely. Surely there was some reason behind it. Nevertheless, Lauren started following the rules and regulations of the prison. After finishing his work, the jailer took Lauren to a tree and gave her a bow and arrow, asking her to aim. However, Lauren was unable to concentrate at the moment, so she missed her shot. This disappointed the jailer a bit, as he wondered how it was possible for an archer like Lauren to miss so badly. Lauren, however, was not bothered by this and went back to doing her tasks with the other inmates. While Lauren was cleaning, she noticed a phone that was only available to the jailer, Robert. So, she enlisted the help of another lady named Katie to distract Robert and directly picked up the phone. She immediately called Emily, who answered. Lauren asked her why she hadn't come to testify in court that day, as she felt very alone. Emily then replied in a frightened voice, "They wouldn't let me come. And now I am with Sam because I treated him very badly." Lauren felt betrayed because she couldn't understand how Emily could leave her alone in trouble like this. Somewhere deep down, Lauren realized that Emily was very scared and that someone was forcing her to do all these things. However, the bad news was that Robert had found out that Lauren was making a call. As a result, he summoned her to his office and scolded her severely. Robert said, "I am extending your sentence by another year, and you will receive several punishments for breaking these rules and regulations." On Robert's orders, both Lauren and Katie were punished by being forced to run away far away. They would have to run around until they were exhausted. An officer named Michael was assigned to keep an eye on both of them. While running through the forest, Lauren became very tired and sat down, pretending that something was wrong with her. Michael believed her act was real and came to help. But then Katie attacked him from behind, and Lauren stood up to join in the fight. This was actually a plan that Lauren and Katie had devised together, and now they had a good opportunity to escape. They just needed to deal with Michael. Together, they beat Michael severely and knocked him unconscious, tying him to a tree and placing a gag over his mouth so he couldn't scream for help. Now that they were completely free, they tried to make their way to the other side of the forest. As Lauren and Katie continued walking, they reached a hilly area and spotted a cottage down below. They hurried into the cottage to find something to eat, and they were very lucky because there was a lot of food and supplies available there, as well as money. They took a shower and relaxed, but after a while, they realized that this cottage belonged to none other than the jailer, Robert, who was anxiously coming home. In fact, Robert was tense because Lauren and Katie had escaped, and he was at a loss about what to do to catch them. When Lauren and Katie realized this, they hid in different places. After Robert freshened up, he noticed that the tap water was still running, indicating that someone had just taken a shower. He figured it out and quickly moved around, capturing Katie. Robert began to beat Katie severely, but at that moment, Lauren came to help her with her bow and arrow. She immediately shot an arrow that struck Robert's hand, rendering him unable to move. Lauren then quickly rescued Katie and managed to puncture Robert's car tire so he couldn't chase them. They traveled deeper into the forest, but Robert somehow freed himself and called the office at his jail, informing them that the two prisoners had escaped. He requested more officers to help capture them. Meanwhile, Lauren and Katie continued to move forward, determined not to get caught, focusing on reaching the top of a mountain where they could find their way. Meanwhile, Robert, along with an officer, began searching for his son, Michael, who was the officer Lauren and Katie had tied up. Instead of capturing Lauren and Katie, Robert prioritized saving his son. He declared that they had to find those two girls at any cost. At this point, Lauren and Katie were sitting on a high point, discussing each other's situations. Katie showed Lauren a diary that belonged to Robert, which she had stolen from his locker. Inside, it contained the names of various girls. That's when they uncovered a truth. Robert was colluding with a judge. This was the same judge who had given wrongful sentences to girls like Lauren, intentionally sending them to this jail so that Robert could exploit them. When Lauren realized this, she understood that the judge had deliberately sentenced her. Now Katie also began to share her story, revealing that her dad had tortured her mother a lot. "I couldn't bear all of this for long, so to save my father from getting hurt, I caused his car brakes to fail. However, the accident turned out to be so severe that my father died, which is why I am serving my sentence here." Now, Robert receives a call from the judge, who is asking him how the two girls managed to escape from his jail. He warned that if they reach the city and tell everything, their jobs would be at stake. Therefore, he instructed Robert to either capture them alive or kill both of them. Robert sets out with his son Michael to find them. Meanwhile, Lauren and Katie have found a path to follow and are moving forward. But suddenly, they are attacked by none other than Robert and his son, Michael, who are determined to catch Lauren and Katie, even at the cost of their lives. Lauren has her bow and arrow, which she uses to fight back, trying to create an opportunity for them to escape. However, in the chaos, Lauren and Katie get separated. Michael, armed with an electric gun, stands directly in front of Lauren, leaving her with no escape route as there is a cliff behind her. But Lauren refuses to give up and starts manipulating Michael, telling him that his father is not a good person and that he does bad things. However, Michael isn't fooled this time. He knows the reality. He immediately fires the electric gun, causing Lauren to faint. On the other hand, when Katie hears the noise, she becomes very frightened. At that moment, Robert appears and captures Katie, locking her inside his car. Now, Michael tries to take Lauren with him, but she pretends to be unconscious. Seizing the opportunity, she grabs Michael's hand and throws him backward. Michael falls directly down and dies in the process. When Robert hears his son's voice, he rushes over but is devastated to find his son's dead body, crying uncontrollably. Lauren is hiding behind the rocks. She goes directly to her friend Katie, trying to pull her out, but suddenly an arrow flies in and hits Lauren's hand, rendering one of her arms useless. This arrow was shot by Robert, who approaches and brutally attacks Katie, leaving her unable to walk properly. Lauren is helpless as her hand is still stuck, but she manages to free it from her leg. She quickly points her bow at Robert, ready to shoot. However, Robert taunts her, saying her aim won't be good now since her hand is severely injured and she can't shoot accurately. But Lauren closes her eyes and focuses completely. She uses her concentration power and releases the arrow, which strikes directly at Robert's heart. He falls down dead on the spot. Lauren manages to save her friend Katie, and they quickly escape together. The two of them head toward the city, and soon everyone learns the truth about the judge and the jailer. The judge is punished, and a high-level investigation is demanded because this crime has been going on for a long time. And thus, our story comes to an end.